Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Coffee Time Python. In this video I want to quickly show you how you can create Python lists in a neat and shorter way than creating a for statement and all these kind of things. So for example, let's say we have a list of numbers, let's say 10 of them, and now we want to compute squares. So what we would do is create an empty list, then loop over all of them like that, and simply append number to square. And let's print it and see what happens. And as you could think is 0, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, so we get squares of the numbers. But this is not the most clean way of doing things. So even if we do this, so we remove one variable, it's still not there, I guess. Yeah. So instead what we can do is, let's just delete all of it. We can use list comprehensions. And what we do, let me quickly type it and then I'll explain everything. X to square. Actually, let's stick to the same naming. Okay, and now let's print it. As you can see, the output is exactly the same, but it's just one line and very easy to read. So what happens is, first we define what we want to put into the list. So everything before for keyword would be put in the list. Then we have a for and the variable that will be taken from the list in each step. And then in range 10, which is any iterable you can imagine. So the it's actually pretty much the same as the previous example, but it's basically one-liner. So one more time, we put what we want to put inside the list, then we just put the for something in iterable syntax, very similar to Python for loop declaration. And yeah, that's it. That's all you have to know about the list comprehension in very basics. Of course, you can put more stuff in it. Like, for example, let's say let me just clear it. Let's say we want to only get squares of even numbers. So what we would do is we could put if in the end, and then refer to the number, the variable, then check modulo and check if it's 0. And now what we get is, if we clear it, as you can see, we only get squares of we only get squares of even numbers, and that's because this if. So if you want to do something, if you want to skip some elements from the loop, you have to put the if in the end, not in here, not in the beginning, not before for. It must be in the end, and always you have to refer to the number or the variable. It's always there. But there is one more thing I want to show you, which is nesting. So you can actually nest list comprehension, like you can run one list comprehension and then iterate over the another one. Let me show you the example. So for example, what we want to do is we want to get the sum of, so let's say we have x's, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and y's would be 10, 20, 30. And now what we want to do is get a sum of each of the combinations. So 1 and 10, 2 and 20, 3 and 40, and so on and so on. So let's create a list first. So let's say my list will be a list comprehension, and now we will be dealing with two different variables. One is the element from the first list, and the other one comes from the second list. So we have x and y, for example. So what we want to do is do x plus y for x in x's for y in y's. And let's first print it to see what we get. So as you can see, it's 11, 21, 31, 12, 22, 32. So what it does is, for each of the elements from the first list, it starts looping over the second list and basically does this. It's pretty much the same as we did before, but we added an extra list comprehension. So what we're saying, for each element of the first list, start looping over all elements of the second list, and as the output, just add them. But you can do whatever you want. You can do, for example, x times y as well. And now if we save that and run, we would get them, both of them multiplied. So it's 10, 20, 30. And that's it for the list comprehension overview. It's much more powerful. You can add much more stuff in it, but this was only a quick example of how you can create lists in neat and shorter way. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more episodes. Bye.